Hi, class. You have all noticed, because it's very noticeable, that more than half of the narration of the fifth season is in second person, where the primary character, the point of view character, is addressed as you. That is not first person narration with the I, and not third person narration describing her as she, but this other less common and more frequently used recently narrative approach of the second person narration, you. It's in the chapter titles too. Esun is always described as you. What is the second person? It is sometimes, it feels a little conventional because or it feels a little difficult sometimes because it's newer. You're not accustomed to it. Though usually you kind of relax into it pretty soon. Some people loathe it, won't do it. It is often used in literary fiction. Um, The most famous literary novel to use it in the 1980s was the kind of trendy hit novel by Jay McInerney called Bright Lights, Big City, where the you is a white dude doing a lot of cocaine and kind of losing his way in literary clubland in New York in the 80s. Not a science fiction novel, really, by any standards. If that doesn't sound appetizing to you, it was the 80s. That's what I can tell you. But there is this kind of daring use of the second person. Most famously, the opening line is, "You're not the kind of guy who would be in a place like this." The second person is much like the first person. It is an intimate, very close point of view. It's closer even than third person limited narration, where like first person, the narrative voice has access to everything in the point of view character's mind. It is different from first person narration in that it doesn't imply that the point of view character is narrating, is putting this together, is telling her own story. Esun is not telling her story for the simple reason that she is not equipped right now to tell her story. She is incoherent. She is too badly traumatized by the most recent and one of the most awful in a long series of traumas that she is not together enough. She does not even have it. She is incapable of really saying I. She is having a PTSD event. Second person is particularly useful for characters who are kind of too confused, too shattered, too traumatized to present a coherent account of themselves, even to themselves. It represents what's happened, the kind of raw emotional material that the point of view character can't quite organize into a story herself. Esun is not together enough. You read down within the book, you'll see how not together she is, how fragmented she feels. She is not together enough to produce a coherent narrative of her own. Therefore, the you that does the talking for her, that knows her better than she at the moment the narrative describes, is able to know herself.